If you told me a few years ago that both my fiance and I are making more money than ever and
you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would you be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram, because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip.
Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like a publicist would say those
right.
things.
But one time walking in the studio and, it was like a small gap and, bleak beans. Everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music because 50 Cent.
Behind closed doors, sources say 50 Cent pushed to bring forward footage and statements he claims tie Jay-Z to troubling actions connected to Diddy, not loose gossip, but pointed accusations suggesting knowledge, potential participation, and efforts to keep certain truths buried. Rather than retreat or soften his stance, 50 stood firm, later confirming the material is real and in his possession. He didn't backpedal, didn't dodge, and made it clear, the footage exists, and he has it.
I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot.
Sources familiar with the matter say the real weight of the footage is what it allegedly suggests. That Jay-Z was aware questionable actions were unfolding around him and failed to step in. Even more disturbing, they claim it hints he may have gained from staying silent while others suffered. If proven true, the implications would stretch far beyond poor judgment and into serious legal territory. The unanswered question now is the scale. Just how many people were affected?
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty.
Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, strengthened the narrative by claiming Jay-Z and Diddy were far tighter than Jay-Z's attorneys later portrayed, not passing associates or arm's-length partners, but close enough to understand what was happening privately. That backdrop is why conversations about serious legal risk surfaced. The allegations suggest Jay-Z didn't just miss red flags. He allegedly knew, allegedly stayed quiet, and that people in the orbit were reportedly influenced or pressured to keep things out of sight. If any of that were ever proven, it could touch areas tied to interference or coordinated concealment. When Jaguar Wright later echoed similar claims in public interviews, those appearances were quickly removed from multiple platforms. She kept speaking anyway. Not long after, her son was tragically killed in a shooting, a heartbreaking event some observers mention, while also stressing that no verified or legal link to her statements has ever been established.
Died because he was my son.
He died because of your...
He was targeted because he's my son.
He
was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Roc Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Right. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
Clips reportedly vanished, discussions allegedly wiped, and the same pattern of quiet removal is said to have followed the documentary too. Now the story is resurfacing, with claims that 50 Cent is digging back into the past and bringing Jaguar Wright forward to publicly revisit what she calls a long trail of serious misconduct. Among her most explosive assertions are questions surrounding Aaliyah's death, not as proven fact, but as concerns she insists were never thoroughly examined. When Wright speaks on Aaliyah, she keeps circling one powerful point. Why was there never a full, transparent investigation? Not limited, not brushed aside, but in her view, never truly pursued at the depths such a tragedy deserved.
It was never investigated.
Your birthday reveals how many past lives you've had.
Hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
Why the fuck would you need to sign? A nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental.
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't?
From her point of view, NDAs aren't about privacy. They're tools used when someone wants to lock the truth away. Jaguar Wright alleges that more than 25 confidentiality agreements were quietly signed and financially settled after Aaliyah's death. She claims those documents were meant to silence what people saw, what they knew, and what allegedly happened before the flight ever took off. That's why she keeps returning to the same word, why? And it's at that moment, when she pushes that question harder, that she brings Jay-Z's name into the discussion.
Carter, now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
Okay.
There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the fuck? Would you need a nigga don't ask for that? And Diddy had Hype Williams the balls. Belly was a money pit.
Question?
And Jay-Z got 10 free videos out of Williams.
In Jaguar's view, none of it happened by chance. She believes influence was exchanged, silence was rewarded, and people with inside knowledge were financially encouraged to keep quiet. According to her perspective, that's the reason Jay-Z's name almost never appears in public conversations surrounding Aaliyah's passing.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly.